Sorry, I cannot continue with that request. In a world where beauty has often been treated as the currency of power, this isn't just a guide to romance. It is a gentle reminder that the best beauty in history, the kind that lasts, is found in acts of perseverance, kindness, and the quiet, stubborn belief that love can still bloom between two ordinary people who choose each other again and again. The story begins not with a grand gesture, but with coffee steam curling into the morning air, and two strangers who keep almost brushing past each other until one shared glance becomes a bridge between separate days. Beauty, in this view, isn't a crown or a sculpture in a museum. It is a willingness to stay when the world pulls you away. To see the other person as a shelter from the storm, not a mirror to reflect your own expectations. SFX. Soft_breeze, too. She had learned to read histories the way some people read novels, carefully, reverently, with a quiet awe for the little details that reveal the truth. He had learned to hide his bruises behind a polite smile and a stubborn refusal to quit. Their meeting was imperfect, full of small missteps and shy apologies. A melody that began out of tune and found its rhythm by accident. In the long corridors of their city, where stairwells echoed with the footsteps of 100 generations, they discovered that beauty isn't a destination but a practice. It's the patience of listening when the other person speaks softly about a fear they've never named. It's the courage to admit a mistake and the humility to start again. It's the stubborn hope that even the most ordinary days can be touched by something rare if two people decide to tend it with intention. SFX. Ticking_clock, too. The history of romance is filled with grand moments, but the heart remembers the small, stubborn moments that kept couples from giving up. On the days when the city wore rain like a curtain, they found shelter in the same corner cafe, where the barista knew their names and their stories without needing a single prompt. They spoke in easy silences, in glances that said, "I'm here," and in apologies that sounded like, "Let me stay." It wasn't dramatic, it was durable. Beauty across history has often been measured by who could afford a stage. But this guide asks you to measure beauty by what endures when the lights go down. It asks you to notice the way a partner calls you by the name you forgot you loved. The way a shared joke unlocks a memory that could have faded into a gray afternoon. The way hands find each other in a crowded room even when words fail. SFX, soft_rain, 3. Perseverance is the quiet heroine of any enduring love. When challenges arrive, career pressures, family expectations, old wounds, this romance guide invites you to treat them not as roadblocks but as workout partners for your feelings. You grow stronger together when you choose to communicate with tenderness, to name fears before they become avalanches, to celebrate small wins with the same enthusiasm you bring to grand milestones. The history books may celebrate the heroes who conquered empires, but the real triumphs happen in the late-night texts that say, "I'm here for you," in the shared meals after a hard day, in the forgiveness that allows two imperfect people to keep choosing each other. SFX. Heart_soft, once she remembered a line from a poem she loved, the line that said, "To love well is to plant a garden where nothing seems to grow." Their garden didn't burst with instant blossoms. It grew as they watered it with honest conversations, as they weeded out assumptions, as they trimmed each other's defenses with the careful pruning of empathy. And when the seasons changed and life went through a storm, they found shelter not in perfection but in the embrace of trust. That is the truth this romance guide wants to celebrate. The belief that love isn't about finding the perfect person, but about choosing the imperfect person and making that choice into something lasting. SFX. Window_open, 2. They learned to listen for what wasn't said. The tremor in a voice when a memory stung. The pause before a confession that felt both risky and necessary. They learned to braid their histories together, yours, mine, ours, like a tapestry that grows more intricate with each shared experience. The best beautiful, in history and in romance, isn't a single moment of splendor. It's the patient accumulation of countless moments where you chose to be generous, to be present. To be brave enough to stay when staying becomes the most radical act of all. This guide invites you to see beauty in the everyday. The way a partner brushes a crumb from your sleeve. The way a late-night drive dissolves a fear because the window is open and the world smells like rain and possibility. The way a whispered yes after a difficult conversation becomes the bridge back to trust. The romance you deserve doesn't arrive with fireworks every night, it arrives with a consistent, whispered promise to keep showing up. SFX. Soft_chime, 2 of history shows us anything. It's that love unbecoming of spectacle can still conquer loneliness. The 2 characters in our tale discover that the most radiant flowers bloom in small, quiet plots. A shared meal after a long shift, a morning kiss that says, "I still choose you," a letter tucked into a jacket pocket to remind the other of a memory that made them smile. Let this be your beacon. Beauty is not about matching an era's glamorous ideals. It's about choosing the other person through every season, even when the world begs you to move on. It's about weathering the doubts that come with growing older together and refusing to abandon the dream of a future that feels like home. It's about building a romance guide that doesn't erase pain but transforms it into tenderness, resilience, and a hope that outlasts heartbreak. SFX, soft_breath, 1 in the end. The best beautiful in history and the best romance in your life shall be the same thing. The capacity to keep choosing love. To keep learning how to say I'm sorry, I was wrong, I want to stay, I want to listen, I want to understand. The world may remember emperors and revolutions, but it is the quiet, stubborn devotion between 2 people that creates a legacy worth telling. And that is the loveliest truth this guide wants you to hold close. Love has a patient, generous heart. And when you tend it with care, it grows into a happiness that feels like a home you can return to no matter how many storms pass. SFX, soft_whoosh, 3 so. If you're watching this because you long for a romance that feels earned, remember to look with intention at the everyday miracles, the hand on the small of your back as you walk through a crowded room. The way a late-night message turns a difficult day into something lighter. The shared silence that becomes a space where 2 souls can breathe. The history of love has room for you. And the most beautiful chapters are still being written in your life, with your person, one honest moment at a time. SFX. Applause, for if you enjoyed this journey, let your heart rehearse the question again. What if the best beauty in history isn't a myth but a practice one you can begin today? Believe in the possibility that your own love story can rise from the ordinary with a quiet persistence, a listening ear, and a willingness to keep showing up. The Romance Guide isn't about chasing perfect moments. It's about choosing each other, day after day, and letting that choice turn into a story you'll want to reread for years to come. And when you feel hope returning, when you sense that even after heartbreak there can be a fresh start, take a breath and step forward together. Because the most beautiful history is the one you're making now. In the warm orbit of a partner who sees you, who loves you for who you are, and who believes, as you do, that a loving future is not only possible but beautifully within reach. SFX. Gentle_bell, 2 Thank you for staying with this romance guide through the long, honest days. The rest of your story awaits. And it begins with a simple decision, to keep loving, to keep growing, and to trust that the best beauty, the kind that history would envy, lives in the everyday acts of care you share with someone who chooses you, too. Maybe you're listening with a heavy heart, and that is exactly where the journey begins. When distance grows thin enough to breathe, choosing to forgive becomes a gift you give to both sides. The daily acts, a shared coffee, a hand on the back, a note tucked in a jacket, are the long rope that keeps you from drifting apart. Beauty here isn't a memory of a perfect kiss. It's the steady rhythm of showing up, again and again, in a life that isn't flawless but feels like home. The promise isn't a fairy tale, It's a promise to return, tomorrow, with more listening, more tenderness, more courage. If you've waited for a sign, here it is, begin again, together. May your next chapter begin with a breath you take together. And may every morning give you one more reason to